Just brought the light. 1 minute. So today you see that light, light is light is love, and right? Light is feeling good. When I come online, everything I'm saying is to encourage feeling good genuinely. Because when it is genuine, that is when it is. Sorry, my book has been through a lot of agony. But when this positivity is genuine, it cannot turn back to negativity because positive is always dominant. When you become positive, genuine, you automatically do what? Become light. Because light is love. And that light is the radiation of love. The radiation of love can only happen when we are feeling good. So when you are sharing your light, it means helping people genuinely feel good. And that is the real truth of sharing your light, not sacrificing yourself. Sacrificing yourself, right, would not feel good. It will only dim your light. You don't share your light by sacrificing yourself. You share your light by ensuring others feel good. And you can't do that when you're not feeling good. Because I learned that love, there's nothing above love. And to respect the divinity within all, right, would start by you respecting the divinity within you. You have to first start from here. When you respect the God within you, then you would naturally respect the God within another. You can't not love someone else when you have not learned to love yourself. That is why shining your light does not involve you being someone that does not feel good. Sharing your light rather does not involve you not feeling good. Because if sharing your light implies you are not feeling good, then that is a lie. Because it is not true. A candle must not lose its light to give another. It was never so. That is why it does not lose anything in lighting another. So sharing the light, right, does not mean put other people's feeling in front of yours. It has never said so. And it will never say so. And you see, here I don't know if you can read it. The word of the Lord endureth forever. Like it's literally engraved in stone. So somewhere the word of the Lord endureth forever is engraved in stone permanently. And I don't know how many days exist in all of existence, right? This particular piece that I always have with me is my grandma's. And my great grandma that passed it on to my grandma. And it's something that I can't forget because aside the fact that it's engraved in stone, right? It has a way of reminding me of different lives that has passed this on, and the lives that would see this as well, because this would remain like this unless something destroys it physically. It has no cleaning, you can't wipe it off. It's literally engraved, carved into it, that you can't really do much unless you're intentional about removing the words. But if nothing, is intentionally acting upon it to remove this, this stays like this forever. And it has stayed like this for more than a century and met me, right? I think a century is how many years? A century should be 100 years. I'm proud today I've seen synchronicities. The first synchronicity I saw today was 111. I don't know how I just at that moment picked up my phone because I'm always moving when led. I'm always ensuring I'm posting or commenting when I'm led to comment. And now see another synchronicity. You can see it. I'm always synchronized. So this is I just screenshot it. And in every synchronicity I'm asked to act upon it. So I don't hesitate to do that. And I don't know why. I love to obey every hint because I've noticed that God is intentional about everything I see. And everything I meet in every synchronized moment feels as a message to myself. I'm not usually a social person because I had 3 years of my life taken away from social platforms. I couldn't call, I couldn't do anything, and it became challenging to keep up with social life because I got comfortable just being with God and myself because that's all I've had, right, for a while. It's not like I've not had people come true for me. There's this sweet heart, not like something, nothing romantic relationship, right? Just a caring soul that once upon a time when I was on the street, right, sent like I was stranded. I ended up sleeping on the street, and she she sent me something to manage to get out of that street. And as grateful as I am to her, like I can't put her above God in my life. Not because she's not a good person, but because the only reason why she was good to me is because of the God in my life. You need to understand it. It's because of God that she could be good. And yes, she offered her free will to let God use at that point. but it still doesn't put her above God in my life. I deeply appreciate her free will of love every time, right? She comes around. But certain times of my life, I'm not in that energy space to share my energy. Not because I'm trying to be selfish, but because at that point I'm more like in a fasting zone. And what I'm fasting from is external energies that I cannot ensure positive. The only energy I can ensure is genuinely positive around me is me. Because I'm only God over myself. I'm not God over anybody. And because this is the sincere truth of me, right? I can't account for anybody's shadow. So sharing your light does not involve you doing the shadow work for somebody else. The person that wants light also, right, should equally be fully ready to take on that doing the healing work. The healing work, right, is more about ensuring that your nervous system is feeling safe. And your nervous system can only feel safe when it understands that it is genuinely always worthy. It's always going to feel good because your nervous system cares about you a lot. It's panics when it doesn't know how you're going to fend for yourself. It's scared, right? It can literally turn scared. And the only way you have to do that is to ensure it that hey, you're going to be fine. Why? Because first of all, your spirit existing within spirit. So first of all, it is impossible for us to be unnoticed that we are hiding, that no we are unseen by what gives us life. It is what is flowing through us. So the fact that it's looking somehow right now doesn't mean anything other than trying to test you to know if you are totally and solid on what you understand. Not even believe, not faith. Because if you understand that positivity, right, can only happen when you are feeling good. You cannot say you are positive and you're not feeling good. Because to be positive, it means that you have to be feeling good. And I'm not saying positive as in HIV positive. I'm saying positive as in not status. I'm saying positive as in your energy field, what you are vibrating on, your current present state of being, what is within you, right? It is actually backed up by a belief system most often. But a belief system can be dismantled or disarmed, right? When it is met with the truth of what we exist within. And the truth of what we exist within is that we are love. And love is the highest vibrating body. It is what we exist within. There is nothing that can vibe higher than love. But people love good vibes. People would always love good vibes because good vibes feels good. The only reason why you love good vibes is because they feel good. Once they stop feeling good, they don't qualify to be called good vibes. You can't say a vibe was good in the present, in the past. Like it's not useful if it is not good presently. That is what a good vibe is. People love good vibes because good vibes feel good. So you can't say a vibe is good and it's not feeling good. That is just what I'm saying. You can't say you are positive and you are not feeling good, because being positive must feel good genuinely, not pretense, because you don't have anything you're pretending to. You can't pretend to love will exist within. Love will exist within seeks authenticity. That is why it is just. And because it is just, right, it seeks for all of itself to feel good genuinely. And that's why we are all here to prove love. You and I is here to prove that love is what we rather prefer, and love is not stupidity. It's not something that you do because you are weak. It is the most powerful force in all of existence. That's all what we're here to prove by our experience on a daily. What we experience every day, right, would end up expressing this on a larger scale, because everything boils down to prove that we would rather choose to feel good. So when you meet people that don't make you feel good, this is for you to identify what you rather prefer to feel. And if you don't know what you don't want, right? Because most of the time, a majority of us don't know what we want. That is why we assume everybody doesn't know what they want. It is only a projection of ourself. But when you know what feels good to you, you don't need to experience everything that doesn't feel good to you to identify it. But yes, most times when you want to know what feels good to you, when you want to understand yourself, you find yourself identifying what you don't like to know what you like. But I think me, I'm a different gem from a different breed, right? Because I find myself identifying what I like and focusing on that, because that's what feels good. That's what I would rather prefer. And it feels easy to do that because I'm always excited to create something. I'm always excited to utilize the initiatives that is God given, because I don't have any power to generate any initiatives. I am aware I am only a tool, and I'm either a positive tool or a negative tool. That's why I always intentionally to prefer to be a positive tool. Because if I'm not a positive tool, I'm a negative tool. It's just literally common sense. But you can't commonly sense that when you are not feeling good, because the power to comprehend is generated only in feeling good. And so, no matter what you have experienced, all was to give that wider picture of what you rather prefer. And I can tell you, I had to see a lot to know what I would rather prefer. Is not something I'm negotiating about. So you can try to disrespect me thinking that somehow it is doing me anything. But the truth is, because I am aware it is me that defines whether I'm being disrespected or not. Another synchronicity. I was just here. I wasn't even touching my phone, right? And all of a sudden I checked and I'm synchronized. That is how I live my life on a regular day. Guided to know when to respond and when not to respond. And it's fun because I'm learning God that exists within from the God that is within me. I don't think you can access God from space. That's why when we try to go outside space, it looks like it's even much further away from God, because you don't access God through outside. You access God from within you, because God lives in you for you to exist. For you to exist, there has to be God within you. This is why I'm never angry or mad at anybody, because the truth is I'm not angry or mad at God. So we are honestly, I actually don't think we are mad at anyone. We are just probably mad at how we let them react to us or affect us, rather, not react to us. Because that is the only power you have. How anyone affects you is your power. It is literally the only ability you have. That's why I tell people the only thing I have is love. And I think it's a weak thing to have only love. But the truth is the only thing that you have is love. You might think it is something more than that. It doesn't change it from being the only thing that you have to be love. Because love is not something you can box in a physical space. It's what we exist within. That's why there's no place or space that it exists because it doesn't have any location. See, for you to be able to locate what we exist within, you have to come outside it to see where it exists within. And science has not been able to escape what we exist within, so it's not possible for you to come outside it to know where it is located. This is why they don't want to believe God exists. And yet, even science now is changing mouths to say that there is something, something. It's not really naming it yet because it hasn't gotten proof. And if you wait for proof of spirit, you're really on a long term because to prove spirit is not always physically possible. That is why spirit is what we exist within as spirit. We are spirit existing within spirit. And so the physical doesn't really have much validity than spirit. And we see that when we understand manifestation, when we understand vibration and frequencies, it makes more sense because it is whatever you're vibrating on that has to shape your reality. It just finds a way to make that vibration valid because it's trying to say that that vibration is not wrong. That's what that's what existence always does. It seeks to ensure that you're always right because you are the one shaping it. Why you are the will of God that is expressing itself through form. By your vibration, you are the will of God expressing itself through form. By your vibration. Get that again. You are the will of God expressing itself through form by your vibration. So you cannot act otherwise than what is breathing through you at the end of the day. And God is one, even when it appears to be not expressing love. Everything that can exist is out to prove love is the only power in all of existence. This might make you cringe if you keep listening to me talking about love, but the thing is that it doesn't change the fact that love is why you can exist. Because the next minute you are going to use the toilet like you can't do without using the toilet because you could try to keep that inside your body and not release it. But you are not created not to feel good. So your every instinct naturally is to release anything that would not make you feel good. That is why when you wound, the next instinct is to heal the wound and not for the wound to expand. You don't see a wound and try to cut it off. Have you not noticed? Because you're not trying to expand the wound. So light is only derived in feeling good genuinely. And you can't derive light when you're not feeling good because that is the radiation of love. Feeling good. The radiation of love is feeling good because love is the highest level of feeling good. So this is my new foundation of growing every day. The latest fashion in town. Literally, sorry about my bad you know, habit of yawning and talking at the same time. Most days, I am seriously wanting to do out as much as I can for my sis, taking on the responsibility of her family. The first phone I ever had, she's the one that gave me. Okay, not the first one. Oh, that's true. God has been wonderful. The first phone I had was my auntie, my mom's sister, when I was a teenager. Actually, I didn't want a phone till I was 18. And I was so disciplined as a child that I didn't want a phone till I was 18. And that's why that first phone I had was stolen because I told her to keep, I told my auntie to keep the phone, only for something to happen to the phone. And well, it wasn't possible anymore. But I didn't regret not taking the phone because it didn't make sense to me because I had set my mind to it. Though that was just me acting out of religion because for me, right, I was trying to do everything for God to love me. That was me growing up as a child. My growing up as a child was trying to get God to love me. So I did a lot of self sacrificing just so that God can love me. But when I understood that it is impossible for God to be something that would need to love me at any point, right? Because God loved me, that's why I can exist. When I understood that, I stopped seeing sense in trying to sacrifice for God to love me. Because it's impossible for you to do anything for God to love you if God doesn't love you. Like, and it's impossible for God not to love you because that is why He created you. Though some people believe that God can not love, but the thing is, you can think that God cannot love, right? Because you think it is possible for God not to love itself. That's the secret that lies in the understanding that God used itself to bet all that can exist. Because God used itself to bet all, it is impossible for God not to love itself. There can never be a point that God will not love you. So you're not doing anything for God to love you. When you act in love, it is not because you want God to love you. It is because you are acting in the nature of who you truly are. The misconceptions of why we do things at all is usually very funny and fascinating to me because you are not doing anything for God to love you. You are acting because you are love, and love is supposed to feel good. And when love feels good naturally, it expresses feeling good by spreading that energy of feeling good genuinely. Love feels good and acts in love. You're not acting in love in performance. You're acting in love because you feel good. And because you feel good, right? Your act of love is genuine. It's not performing act. It's not to impress anyone. It is naturally who you are. But you cannot act in love when you're not feeling good. You can't gift somebody when you're not feeling good. You are just lying to yourself, honestly, because it is not really a gift. It is more like an investment. But when you feel good, you give because it is who you are, not because you are expecting anything in return. So when they don't, the next minute they are not even noticing that you give. It's not a problem. It is because you have done who you are, not that you are in any way trying to gain something. Because you're not supposed to expect anything from being who you are. You're just supposed to be loved. That's why Bashaj will say, without any expectation of the outcome, right? He's always using those words. Because expressing love because it's who you are is just like going to the toilet because you prefer to always feel good. And when you go to the toilet, you release the shit. Do you expect that holding the shit would would be useful? It will just help you relieve any negativity from yourself, right? So naturally, love is supposed to be expressed because it feels good to do so, not because it's it's enforced. Because you don't force love. God cannot force itself. That's why God gave us free will. God gave us free will because God cannot force itself. It is not because of anything else. If you understand that God cannot force itself, you understand that free will is not something that somebody is creating and it is not a lie. But because people don't understand that God used itself to bet all that can exist is a truth of spirit for all. It is hard to understand how free will is possible because you think free will means that you must do negativity. Free will never said you must not express love, but free will says your expression of love is your free will, your choice, your feeling good. What makes you feel good, not what makes another person feel good. The misconceptions that I see, I laugh about are so many that I don't know where to start from to correct all the misconceptions. But I try to comment as much as I can when I see it, when I'm led, especially because I don't just comment without being led. So even when it makes other people cringe that I'm commenting, it's because I'm led. Naturally, me, I don't even send anybody. I just love to be my own energy, right? But love would always bring about togetherness. So there's no way I can be selfish and not come around to share that love, right? Share your light. And that's all I try to do when I comment. I try to share the light as much as I can. Not so that anything else but your feeling good is something that can also be equally considered and genuinely happening truly to you. Because when you understand that you are God, right? Because God used Himself to better all that can exist, you start wondering why God, that is love, should have fear. And you can't do anything that wouldn't feel good to you and expect to draw in abundance because you have to worship your soul. That's why they say find the kingdom of God and every other thing will be added unto you. When they mean find the kingdom of God, it's not about finding something external from you. The kingdom of God is a blissful state of genuinely feeling good. That is when your soul is feeling good all the time because it knows that it is worthy to exist because it cannot exist without it being worthy. It is genuinely certain of this key point. It has the understanding, not from being taught, but from a soul knowing. And how does it have the understanding from a soul knowing? Because it has grown in feeling good genuinely. You cannot have understanding from a soul knowing that is only gotten in a good feeling without that good feeling. It is not magic. You can't. taste a knowledge that is gotten only in good feeling, and you're not in that good feeling, you have to literally do magic, and it doesn't work that way. Even magic cannot bridge the gap, honestly. You have to genuinely feel good to eat the fruits in that state that would be only possible when you are feeling good. That is the truth of love. So, honestly speaking, feeling good is the only way you can increase your light genuinely. And for your light to increase genuinely, it is about what feels good to you, not to somebody else. And for you to understand this, you have to literally do what? Feel good. Learn yourself. See what you are, because you are light. And that light radiates when you're genuinely feeling good. Sorry about the yawn. You just brought my lights, and I said, let me come online before I go and fetch water instead of do it the other way around, so that I don't have any disturbance in my life. And well, that gives the tank enough time to fill up. But I'm not sure I'm even sharing anything, so I have to go and check if see check. I have to go and check if the tank is actually on. Because I'm usually the person that does the water stuff around here. I have neighbors that don't really send me message. They don't send message, so I don't even see them as anything, because I am happy I have light, so why not? So thank you very much. Sorry for making this much longer, but I hope I was able to express shining your light or sharing your light.